Satisfactory Update 6 is bringing some incredible changes, which Snut just covered in more detail. And I thought it might be best while we're at it to talk about not only the changes, but what my plans are for Update 6 in terms of my factories. But there is a big caveat. With me moving over to Mexico for 6 months, it will depend on if my smaller travel PC can actually handle the build, whether we do these or not. If not, I'm going to have to do something different. But jumping in, we've talked about the existing oil nodes being moved, and it's not mentioned in the video that if you're currently extracting oil from there, then your factory may still produce that oil, despite not having access to the factory personally. So I'm thinking, what would happen if I build up extractors, maybe house them in a little box, make sure they're powered on, and then bring all of the pipelines up to the along the north coast, and then I can take them across to another factory wherever we choose to build it later on, and that way we can potentially double up our oil production from having access to those previous nodes. The intention would be to use all of this crude oil as part of production rather than for power, simply because I'm currently working on what is going to be a factory that supports 50 atomic power plants, which is going to be a lot of power. I'd just like to make a break right here and say that this isn't going to be possible due to the IDs of the nodes. They're going to be the same, and so apparently you won't be able to get double production out of them. So why not just remove them all? But returning to Update 6, if you do have a factory in this area, you may need to move it. If that's the case, then do check out my video that I recently did. I'll put a card up above now so that you can check out how to move your factory with just a few clicks without you needing to delete and rebuild everything. In the video, Snut also clarified that the cliffs are still waiting to be decorated, and the top section of the Dune Desert Cliffs will also hopefully be released for Update 6, though it won't be completed until later. Now, I'm super intrigued by the top of the cliffs and would love to build a factory on top of the plateau, with only the resources being pulled from the surrounding areas and brought up. Now, I think it would make an excellent HQ for like a mega base, and if I start over, that may well be the spot that I focus on. I also want to make more of an effort into integrating the factories and the nature around them, especially into the Spire coast, a bit like how Stin Archi has created the Eden project, which is beautiful. I'll actually be giving a tour of that in the upcoming weeks, but do check out their channel. The link is below in the description. And speaking of links below, if you're enjoying the music, make sure to check out my music on Spotify, which any of you can use or listen to copyright free. However, with my desire to build an integrated factory, I feel that it might be better to hold off until the new ore nodes are brought to the Spire coast, as I don't really want to build a factory on top of one. But potentially, it might be better for me to build these factories into the sheer cliffs and have them supported and try and build them that way. Something that I'm interested in, and it may mean that we have to use train monorails or drones to bring the resources in, which could be pretty cool as well. Now, the power slugs won't be added for this update for the Spire coast, which has me a bit surprised, as I presume they're pretty easy to add in, as crash sites are being added, and I mean, it's another asset. I don't know, I'm not a dev. But this could suggest maybe that they're working on a randomized spawn feature for slugs. Probably not. I'm just hopeful. But it would be cool to go out for your daily hike and just to find a new power slug smoothie laying about on the road. Who knows? Snut also covered crash sites being removable or able to be disassembled, something that I'd be really down for, but it won't be coming for Update 6, probably a little later down the line. They were talking about that in stream on Tuesday as well. Snut then went on to talk about the shallow waters and how we can just run through the area. I think that's really nice and easy for traversing, but I know a lot of you are really interested in building pirate ships here. To be honest, I'm pretty down for that. So if you guys have that in mind, or if enough of you are interested in me doing it, let me know in the comments. Perhaps I'll build my own little factory ship there as well. I don't know what it will produce though. I think it would be really nicely suited for one of those little coves. Now, thankfully, we do still have the Great Canyon, which I currently use for train logistics. With it being more open for Update 6, I'm more intrigued as to how I can better run my trains throughout here alongside the river, and really want to have a station reaching from this hillside up towards the arch. I think it would just work very well there. Now, seeing where the arch is actually a huge relief for me, because it looks like the archway is slightly further into the Spire coast than by the estuary where I first thought it was. That being said, there's a massive hill now where the first set of oil nodes are, so if you do have a factory there, do move it now. Also, just a note that the transition between the biomes is still being fixed and worked on, so it may change considerably between the Spire Coast and the Dune Desert. Still, I'm super excited for all of this, and there's one thing that we didn't cover last week, which I'd like to pose to you now. What is this? Is it a new edible, an alien, or just vegetation? Let me know your thoughts below. Anyway, thanks for watching, and thank you to our supporters, notably our solo clips patrons, The Calamity, Cerebral Tag, James Irwin, Jerry2, Polcat, and Firefless, as well as our Lunas, Dixie Chris, Lord of July, and Ben, as well as our Blood Moon, Papa Snoozy. Until next time, as always, ciao for now.